Good afternoon, my Real News Media TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update. And in the news this afternoon, 2 men killed by police in Above Rocks, St. Catherine. 2 men have been shot and killed by police in the St. Catherine North Division in separate incidents, which resulted in the seizure of 2 illegal guns and ammunition. In one incident, a man identified as Nigel reportedly pointed a gun at police personnel who had gone to premises in Retirement District in Above Rocks, St. Catherine about 5:40 a.m. Sunday. The police reportedly took evasive action and fired at Nigel, who was shot and injured. He was later pronounced dead at hospital. The police say a Taurus 9mm pistol and 4 rounds of cartridges were seized in that incident. Later at 7 a.m., another police party entered another section of the community where a man known as Biggs was killed in an alleged confrontation with the team. An Arcus 9mm pistol affixed with a magazine containing 10 rounds of ammunition was reportedly seized from him. The Independent Commission of Investigations has launched a probe into the shootings. Lacovia primary student succumbs to injuries sustained in hit and run. A 10-year-old boy has succumbed to injuries sustained in a hit and run in Lacovia, St. Elizabeth on Friday. The police report that about 7:05 a.m., Clark was hit by a motor vehicle near the school. The driver sped away from the scene. The injured child was taken to the Mandeville Regional Hospital where he was admitted. He died on Saturday. The Black River Police have launched an investigation into the matter. He got chickens and feed from me, J.C. Hutchinson suggests some JLP supporters ungrateful after protests. Member of Parliament for St. Elizabeth Northwestern, J.C. Hutchinson, has accused some of his constituents and supporters of being ungrateful following a protest on Wednesday for his resignation. Many of you would have been seeing a demonstration that went on in Northwest St. Elizabeth. I don't want to go further into it, but I want you to understand that for every election that we have had, you have had the people coming out and demonstrating against me, and every election I have won by a bigger majority, he told the Jamaica Labour Party supporters at the party's St. Elizabeth Parish meeting at Newell High on Saturday night. Hutchinson said he predicted that the protest was going to happen.
Many of you would have been seeing a demonstration that went on in Northwest St. Elizabeth. I don't want to go further into it, but I want you to understand, for every election that we have had, you have had the people coming out and demonstrating against me. And every election, I have won by a bigger majority. I told the area council a couple weeks ago that the demonstration was coming because I call it the pre-election demonstration because we know it's coming. And I won't get into the sort of people who were there. But some of them, you help them once, you help them twice, and the time you don't help them, then turn around and cuss you. One of them was sent on farm work. And after 3 weeks, the man come back home, said the work too tough. He can't manage it. And then him now want the MP to support him. Another one you see in the picture, him admit that him got 50 chicken and 5 bag of feed from me, but I never give him the black drum. So you understand the people that I deal with in my constituency. So no matter what happen, they have become good. The rest of them who were there get $5,000 and a box lunch.
Ellenson primary fights to survive in shadow of gang wars. Elliston Primary and Infant School in East Kingston has long been affected by gang violence, with the toll becoming increasingly evident in its declining enrollment numbers. The impact is so severe that administrators often find themselves waiting for police approval before they can safely open or dismiss students as the gunmen ran rampant outside. The reality is very scary and traumatizing for the students, staff, and the visitors. It was last week pinpointed as the main reason behind the school's sharp decline in population size, placing it among the primary schools with the lowest enrollment island-wide. On paper, and inclusive of the Randolph Lopez School of Hope unit with 23 students located on the compound, Elliston Primary and Infant can accommodate 650 pupils. However, only 93 students are currently enrolled. Principal Debbie Meek began working at the school in 2020 when there was about 200 students across multiple grades. Since then, she has witnessed a steady decline in enrollment as violence in the surrounding community has escalated. Coming here, you would have seen that outside is like a ghost town. It is because people have been murdered every so often, and a lot of parents have decided to move out of the community and take their children with them. That is the main factor, Meek told the news last week. Many people are just afraid to send their children up the lane. They are afraid of the sporadic gunfire, and they don't know what is going to happen, she continued, adding that the community dump near the school's entrance is not only an eyesore but also a contributing factor to the exodus. Meek said gunmen in the area are indifferent to the presence of the school, noting that a Peace Day devotion in March this year and the Labor Day activities later in May came to a grinding halt as gangsters engaged in open battles near the school. It is so bad that it is almost as if the students have become immune to the gunshots. It's like nothing to them, offered guidance counselor Abigail Clark. If they see something happening, they are quicker to move toward the gate than run from it. Clark admitted that it's a shock for her as a newcomer to the school to see students reacting this way, running towards the sound of gunfire. But then we try to find out what's going on in their heads, and we understand that this is what goes on for them on a regular weekend. You may find a few who are afraid, but the majority are not, even though they are still traumatized, as she said. On countless occasions in recent months, teachers have been forced to either scamper to cover with their students or lay flat on the ground, clutching some who are crying as the gunshots ring out. The school has had to implement outreach interventions for its most affected pupils. There are some days that I have to call the police to find out if it is okay to come out, said Principal Meek, recalling Labor Day, when a woman was seen running with what appeared to be a bullet wound after shots rang out near the school. The woman was rushed to hospital and the Labor Day project was abandoned right away, she said. So you don't know when something is going to happen. Despite the chaos, Meek emphasized that Elliston Primary and Infant is one of the few remaining pillars of stability in the community. If the school were to close, it could be a death blow to an already struggling area which has seen its share of violence and tragedy. Clark noted that many parents view Elliston as a school for special education, and once their struggling children improve academically, they often move them to other institutions nearby. Others are hesitant to cross turf boundaries, and though they send their children to school, they avoid the parent-teacher meetings and the school enrichment and the parental support initiatives. Meanwhile, Garfield MacDonald, principal of New Day Primary School, located in Grants Pen St. Andrew, pointed out that his school's decline in enrollment is not due to crime, despite also being in a violence-prone community. The Ministry of Education told the news that New Day has a capacity of 1,000 but had only 222 students enrolled in the last academic year. MacDonald explained that the 1,000 capacity threshold is a reflection of the days when New Day was operating as a primary and a junior high school. The decline in enrollment, he said, is more due to broader demographic trends, such as lower local birth rates and a population shift from the corporate era to new housing developments in St. Catherine and Clarendon. McDonald listed at least 9 primary schools in New Day's immediate locale, some of which have better resources and more attractive extracurricular programs than can be offered at his school. The government has now switched its focus from all-age and junior high schools to having more primary and secondary schools, so as a result, the school now has to recalibrate how it sells and promotes itself, and that will take some amount of time to see the numbers going up, he said. But we will never be able to reach that number of our full capacity. Maybe we'll never even get to 50% because remember there is a national population drift. He said that while some primary schools are fighting to maintain enrollment, schools in Halfway Tree, the St. Andrew capital, and some in Portmore St. Catherine going back into Clarendon, many of those schools are bursting at the seams. Guys, thank you for watching. See you this evening at 6 p.m. for another news update.